باللہ من الشیطان الرجیم بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم. پیارے بچوں، السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ. بچوں، کل ہم نے انڈرسٹینڈنگ مارجنلائزیشن جو ہم پچھلے 3-4 دنوں سے پڑھ رہے تھے اختتام پذیر ہوا. آج میں آپ کے سامنے ایک اور نیا موضوع لے کر حاضر ہوا ہوں جو آپ کی کتاب پولیٹیکل سائنس 8ویں جماعت سے لیا گیا ہے. جو ہمارا ٹاپک ہے وہ ہے کانفرنٹنگ مارجنلائزیشن. اس میں کیا لکھتے ہیں یہ آپ غور سے سنیے. In the previous chapter, we read about two different groups and their experiences of inequality and discrimination. Though powerless, such groups have fought, protested, and struggled against being excluded or dominated by others. They have attempted to overcome their situation by adopting a range of strategies in their long history. Religious solace, armed struggle, self-improvement and education, economic uplift. There appears to be no one way of doing things. In all cases, the choice of struggle has depended on the circumstances that the marginalized find themselves in. In this chapter, we will read about some of the ways in which groups and individuals challenge existing inequalities. Adivasis, Dalits, Muslims, women, and other marginal groups argue that simply by being citizens of a democratic country, they possess equal rights that must be respected. Many among them look up to the Constitution to address their concerns. In this chapter, we will see why the Constitution of India is something that marginalized groups invoke in the course of their struggles. As part of this, we will look at how rights are translated into laws to protect groups from continued exploitation, and we will also look at the government's efforts to formulate policies to promote the access of these groups to development. پھر ہم دیکھتے ہیں invoking fundamental rights. The Constitution, as you have learned in the first chapter of this book, lays down the principles that make our society and policy democratic. They are defined in and through the list of fundamental rights that are an important part of the Constitution. These rights are available to all Indians equally. As far as the marginalized are concerned, they have drawn on these rights in two ways. First, by insisting on their fundamental rights, they have forced the government to recognize the injustice done to them. Second, they have insisted that the government enforce these laws. In some instances, the struggles of the marginalized have influenced the government to frame new laws in keeping with the spirit of the fundamental rights. Article 17 of the Constitution states that untouchability has been abolished. What this means is that no one can henceforth prevent Dalits from education, themselves entering temples, using public facilities, etc. It also means that it is wrong to practice untouchability and that this practice will not be tolerated by a democratic government. In fact, untouchability is a punishable crime now. There are other sections in the Constitution that help to strengthen the argument against untouchability. For example, Article 15 of the Constitution notes that no citizen of India shall be discriminated against on the basis of religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth. You learnt a lot about this in your class 7th textbook in the chapter on equality. This has been used by Dalits to seek equality where it has been denied to them. بچوں آج کے لیے اتنا ہی. کل میں انشاءاللہ اس کے باقی ہیڈنگس ہے وہ آپ کے سامنے لے کر حاضر ہو جاؤں گا. تب تک کے لیے خدا حافظ.